had it for a long time. Don't care. Doctor wants to give me something called Rituxan,
Mm.
and I'm allergic to myself. I read the description of Rituxan and I almost passed out.
Yeah, but got to.
It's poison.
Yeah, I know. You got to use it. Weighing whether the benefits outweigh the risks, right? That's always there. So it's your choice,
Well,
really. They give you, right?
my daughter is pregnant,
Mm.
doctor, and um, I don't want to. I want to be able to hold my granddaughter, and I don't want to worry about giving her something or receiving something for her because when babies are born, they give them live vaccines, right?
Yeah.
So I could potentially kill myself. And then they're talking about brain disease and pain. It, during it's like chemotherapy.
Mm.
No. How am I supposed to know, doctor, if I have an infection of my brain?
Yeah.
I'm already crazy.
Mhm. Discuss with
So,
your team of doctors and then make a informed decision. These things take a long time, really. Especially if you have time to start the medication, you can always look into the case studies and see what kind of you know use is there, what kind of misuse is there, all of that. So anyway, I'm going to talk about um, what do you do with your body. Many people,
what
I mean,
when
I was
it doesn't listen to me?
yeah. I mean, that's the thing. But the thing is, I'm talking about regularly. So the people who are eating or not exercising, those kind of folks, when they
Oh,
when they really make the body says I'm hungry, and you go and eat, and you go on feeding, 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 it will be behaving its own way. So those kind of things,
yeah.
you got to stand up and say,
Oh, can
"No."
I tell you what I do?
Yeah,
Can I tell you?
sure, please.
Okay. So recently I found a recipe for um, let's see, zucchini, tomatoes, onions, and spinach. Only because I'm low in iron. Okay. So I realized that my blood cells are all out of shape and stuff. So, and I'm always tired. So I'm low in iron.
Yeah.
So what I do is I steam it and I put a little curry and some garbanzo beans and, I eat it like with roti because I'm West Indian. So
Yeah.
that's just the way I eat.
Yeah, it's a bread
And
preparation. Yeah.
yeah, I'm kind of happy about that
Okay.
because, I've survived this disease for quite some time. So mentally, what I do now that I'm dealing with somebody that I love who had a couple of strokes and a heart attack and is not the same brain as he had before,
Mm.
is first I get angry. I get angry and I yell and scream and I'm like, what the is wrong with you? Of like 50 million curses in the English language, you know. And he finally said to me, you know a ton of words, you don't need to use that language. So I said, I'm going to excuse myself. So I went into my walk in closet, I grabbed my pillow, and I screamed as loud as I could.
And what do you do
Then
with
I
your
went back
body?
into the room.
Tell me about the body listening that you also going to say that you. What do you do? Your body speaks to you
Scream.
quite a
It's
bit,
called
right?
a.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you broke up. Say again.
No, I was looking for what you were going to say about your body and you were listening to the body. That's the topic we are talking here today.
Oh, listening to my body is very difficult because
Yeah.
my body
Let me
does not
start
always
let me start saying to people what,
understand.
yeah, what we are going to say, and then you can come back up after my introduction is done. Okay, that way they know what I'm talking about here.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah, you'll also like it, I think.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
My problem is I have the attention span of a flea and lupus.
yeah. Let's engage other people too, so they are looking to listen to what this topic is about, because this is something very valuable to all of them. See, I was listening to a person. He is 106 years old. See, and he looks like a
Wow.
40-year-old, and then he stands and walks very fast than his younger partners, and then he was talking about ancient way of eating and how they don't want to
Yes.
make the body over us with our taste and with our always asking for food and then indulging it like a pleasure, which we do, all of us, modern times. We make it a social
Yes.
thing and we made it a psychological thing, and then we kind of slaves to our taste, the buds and all that. So when you are listening to the body that way, where it is telling you, "Oh, go ahead and eat, even though I'm not hungry, go ahead and eat," or this is tasty, even though it's not good for me, eat, that kind of thing, right? Or are
Yes.
you in charge of the body, and then you can make it go on being hungry at least a little bit so that you will work out a very good appetite, and then you
My
eat.
body is
Yeah,
exhausted,
yeah,
doctor.
yeah.
It's
Yours is different.
exhausted. And
Yeah,
my doctor told me, he's like, look, you need iron.
yeah,
So I bought spinach, I bought vegetables, things that I haven't made in a long time.
yeah.
You know, I made sure to eat cabbage, leafy greens, stuff like that. And, definitely I went back to my roots and I started cooking with my hands,
Yeah.
you know, which is also, good for your hands. So you have to make it not only physical when you cook, but also spiritual. And so when you cook spiritually and happily, your body accepts it and makes you
Okay. Okay. Uh, the Guru Warrior, so
good.
I know your medical history is pretty complicated. Let us go ahead with our topic here, okay? Because I have only few minutes here, and then
um,
yeah. So let me continue what I wanted to say to them. I think this will help a lot of people in modern times, because when I was looking at all these obese patients, they always complain to me about the taste, and they cannot resist that because they were used to the taste from their grandma times and then my mother times, and then
mm,
that's what happens to all of us, right? And all the families think we pick it up,
yes,
then we cannot get off her, and then
yes,
we complain, oh, we gained weight or we have spoiled our health and all that. For example, in our households in India, white rice was the staple,
yes,
right? They make different types of
yes,
white rice, but that white rice is a staple, and you eat it. Many people there have diabetes because they eat white rice, and they cannot get away from the taste. They want to eat something like that. So this old man, this 106-year-old man, he was so
wow,
clear, he was so good. You'll be impressed if you see him. He was talking about three things. Uh, the food should be hita and shuchi, and really you do it, time it that way, it is not a problem for you. That means it has to be good for you. Suppose you have an allergy to something and you have been avoiding at home, and you get called to a
right,
social occasion and you go there, and they mix that particular, for example, potatoes, you cannot take it, for example, and then you go there and they mix it with so many other things, and you unknowingly you eat some of that, maybe not potato, some other
yes,
vegetable. How people are
yes,
allergies, all the allergies. then they will have real problem.
But
Yeah. And then,
sometimes it depends on what region you're in.
yeah.
Like when I'm in Jamaica, I'm allergic to seafood here in America,
Mm.
but when I'm in Jamaica, I can eat seafood
Yeah, it could be the
because they
base
catch it.
problem. It is a base or how they prepare. That's one thing. Allergies can be varied, and you may not have it one time, but you may have it later too. That's also there. It's not that just because you are
Yeah,
having allergies one time, you will have it all the time. So it varies really. So I've seen people
yeah.
who are taken penicillin before and now developed allergies after certain years, then we had to avoid giving it to them. That's also there. I have seen that. So
I
he,
also I
yeah,
also find that allergies come with stress as
yeah,
well.
yeah. So,
Stress allergies.
what I was going to talk about is how you can listen to your body in a way, and also you choose to not listen to the body in a way. When you want to listen to your body, it is giving you signals like a pain, discomfort, or something that's going wrong. Then you got to pay attention to that. But what I'm talking about is when you are forming habits and then you are listening to the body because it has habituated to something, and that's not good habit for you. Like hita means what is good for you. That means it's not going to hurt you, it's not going to produce allergies, it's not going to produce maybe iron deficiency and all that, right? So you want to pay attention to that.
Right.
Then you want to really
Yes.
say, okay, I want to body, listen to me. I'm going to tell you what is good for you, and then only eat that. Don't eat anything that is not good
Exactly.
for you. But sometimes this taste, the social, this peer pressure, they come on, right? And then people just indulge in eating, and then they make a big habit out of it. And how many people I
Uh-huh.
have seen cannot break that habit? It's a big deal. One guy, he was having,
Because it's social.
yeah. He was a diabetic, right? And he was used to white flour. That is a staple he was eating
Uh-huh.
all the time. And so he
That's
could
great.
not he would not break enough from the white flour because he would really complain about it. But eventually we got him out with maybe brown flour a little bit and all the taste and all that. But still, if you listen to your body like that, like the taste or like it's crying all the time. I want feed me, right? And if you listen to that, that's the problem. You know, exercise is also like that.
Yes.
Suppose you are,
And that is why you should not watch television
yeah,
and eat.
yeah, exactly. You have to eat in silence actually, and you have to pay attention how you're chewing
Yes.
it, and also you got to
Yes.
eat small portions that good for you. So,
Yes.
yeah, see,
Small plates.
yeah, small plates, and then small plates, small servings, and also eating with a fork
I I
slowly.
like I like to eat fermented foods like um kimchi
Mm,
because the fermented foods are good for your gut.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's all a
Yes.
question of forming the habits right way and not forming the habits that's not
Yes.
good for you. It's a balance. But basically,
Uh,
generally, what is happening is people eat just because there's a time, even though they are not hungry, they eat. And then they eat a lot of food.
and
That's a problem too.
and the food pyramid is wrong.
Mm,
I'm sad.
yeah,
It's wrong. Should not eat that much bread.
yeah,
Should not eat that much rice.
yeah.
It's wrong.
That's true. The processed food that is leading to this chronic disease. So what I was going to say when Guru Warrior came, I know her. She has horrific medical conditions, and that's why she was jumping in to talk to me. That's okay. But the topic is: are we in charge of the body, or the body is dictating to us to eat by taste and to eat by occasion, to eat by just because we are there, right? That's not good at all. Whereas if you listen to that old man, he was talking about three things. Hita ahara, that means what is hita for you, that is what is good for you, that's the one you want to see. And then second thing is it has to be mita. Mita means that is limited, small amounts of food. You don't eat too much. That's what he was saying. And then the third one is very important is suchi. That means it is prepared well, right way. Okay, suppose you really boil or fry it so much, all the vital ingredients are destroyed, and then the food is no good for you, right? That's what you want to pay attention to. So better thing would be eat vegetables and fruits and all that, right? That way the vitality in the food is preserved, and then you can have the nutrition properly distributed within you. So these three things he was talking about. But then people who are in kind of saintly life, they are able to do that. But how do we mix it in modern life is just have this diurnal variation, which is the circadian rhythms we talk about. Follow that. There you listen to the body, okay? And the body will say, okay, I have the hunger. Then work up the appetite. Don't eat right away, right? Make the hunger go to real good. Then you are working up a big appetite. Then go and eat slowly, but eat small amount. Eat the amount that is right for you. The same thing with exercise too. Lots of times the exercise habits are formed, and then the body may not want to do that early in the morning, and you want to reverse that. You want to reverse that and tell the body, maybe start with a habit of telling it at the night time. Say, I am going to exercise in the morning. Repeat that several times before you go to bed, and then when you wake up, you're already motivated, and then you will be able to do the exercise and all that, right? And also, if you can manage at least few days, few weeks, then it becomes a real big deal to wake up and do it also. That also you can make the habit form. But majority of the people are getting used to sedentary activity in the chair and being comfortable and all that, and they think that being comfortable is like a very good thing. The creature comforts I'm talking about, that's also no for exercise too. So this is something very simple but then very subtle, right? So how do you handle your body and your mind, which I call them as elephants? Both can really be elephants like for you, because they are pretty strong. We just saw the New Year's Eve, and many people, as usual, they want to make resolutions of losing weight and picking up good habits, stop smoking. So many things they make resolutions, right? But then when they make them with their intellect, and then the body and mind, they have their own way. They won't listen to you. They will be doing their own habits. So the key here is you got to retrain the body, retrain the mind. That's where you have to determine and really understand that I'm going to do this, and then you got to allow all circumstances favor that. Then the elephant can be trained. That's what happens with the elephant. The driver, we see this all the time, right? The guy who is sitting on the top of the elephant, he usually kind of controls the elephant very well. It's very surprising, because the elephant is so strong. If it wants, it can tear out to everything around it. Then elephants really get mad and really unruly. They do that, okay? But then the way this thing happened is these people domesticated these elephants from childhood with training. They even train like they are tying the rope. Actually, they don't. They just put it on there, and then it will stay there, thinking that it is tied to the rope, to the pole or whatever, right? So train the elephant when it is small, and when it is really can be trainable. And later on, when it becomes even the powerful, it won't help you. It won't stop you. So the same thing with diet. If you um, are bred in a family that gave you a lot of processed food, and that was very and it has significance. It is somebody else's favorite dish, or particular like a Thanksgiving, you do the turkey like that, right? Each festival in India here also, they have their own special dish, right? You get used to that, so you can form these habits in so many ways, right? Without us paying attention to it. So to reverse that, in this situation where the bad habits happen because of the culture, family, or because of the way we develop personal taste. Some people describe themselves as foodies. They eat a lot, or they eat a variety of foods. You can control that, but then if you cultivate your taste like that, then you may be paying for it later on, and you don't want to really eat that. One of my friends is he does this video videos when he's going around the country, and he goes to all sorts of foodie places, and then tastes, and then tells everybody, oh, how good it is. But he's going to pay for it if he develops these habits, and then all that processed food he's eating gives him some chronic disease. Then when he has to give up all these things, he will suffer, right? That's why cultivate, the food should be hita, that means good for you, doesn't produce any side effects, allergies, and then suchi, that means properly cooked, properly cleaned, and all that. Then third one is mita, that means small amount of food that you want to eat, don't eat too much, don't indulge all that. Especially it's impressive, and it's coming from a 106-year-old. He looks like a 50 or maybe less than that, so he has given a lot of energy secrets, a lot of cultivating these inner cycles, the circuitry rhythm. That is fascinating to me as a physician, how they explained everything. They talk about chakras. There are energy centers that we have lined up from our base to all the way to the head, right? So they kind of talk about how they distribute the energy, how you can master that. That's a big deal, so I was very impressed. The way he was free of chronic disease, the way he's really actively participating in a major discussion like that. And then 106, if I could even go near there, I'll be very happy. But to be that kind of functional, I was very impressed with that. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. How we go away from our physiological circadian rhythms, and then allow the maladoption of that grow into our habits, and those habits are very difficult to break later on. So there is a simple way to do that is just break the habits with a good habit, and then cultivate it slowly, and then it becomes part of what you can do. Okay. Anybody has any questions, you can come up and talk to me about that. This is something I wanted to talk at depth, but then just telling you all that may not work. Generally, what's happening is we see a lot of patients that come because they already developed diabetes, hypercholesterol, hypertension. They have symptoms from it, and that's when they want to seek the medical attention, right? You all know that I'm into proactive wellness. That means not just the preventive care, but just being intelligent about the life, our habits, our culture, and then also how those habits can really bring us down, right? So instead of just checking the blood test once a year and telling you, oh, you should be eating better, that is the case with most of the doctors, because we were not told the nutrition. But because I bring the perspective from the ancient times when they had these natural foods, vital foods, and also this habit of walking all the time. this habit of eating only when they are hungry, and also really not developing these tasty habits, or slave to the tastes and other senses, right? So there's a whole different perspective, but it doesn't involve any particular medicines or particular invasive and nothing. It involves how you handle your body and mind, and how you handle your the perceived culture. And then lots of times these habits are formed just like that, without you knowing. You like your grandma, when you go there, she kind of puts up something very nice, and then you get used to it, and your mom used to it, and your mom is making now. So that goes on. The people who have diabetes in many places, if you really trace them, they are eating food that's not good for them, but they crave that so much. They are used to that for the taste, and then that will continue. So to understand, to be familiar with our body rhythms, that's what I'm saying. You listen to the messages of the world, but then you don't want to listen to the habits of the body which we created, and it attained out of not thinking, not being aware of it. I hope I made it clear. So any questions, any doubts, you can ask me. See, in this proactive wellness, what happens is you kind of reverse gear. How these chronic diseases are sustaining like that, developing into like that, with all our knowledge, with all our money we spend? How is that we don't have very good outputs of the outcomes of this chronic diseases? Why everybody is having chronic diseases? How come these other yogis and all that, they don't have it? That's my interest, right? So I benefited personally. I don't have the chronic diseases, and then I kind of have energy. But then as I figuring it out, I'm not just a consumer, but also a scientist, somebody who wants to understand how these longevity that happened in yogis is there. Not only longevity, they are not just living. Like I can contrast that to the people who are in the nursing home here in America. Then I see they are just don't have any quality of life. They don't have any energy, and they are kind of really kept on a lot of medications, and those medications are prolong the misery in a way. When I go to the nursing home, I get really depressed if I see those people really like a frail leaves, and don't have any involvement, or any interaction with other people and all that, and they are just given medications and medication, and then they go on living like that. And then if they are sick a little bit, they are rushed to a nursing home, to hospital, and then they get fixed, and they come back and they go to same thing again. You don't have to do that. That's my point. You can be intelligent, you can be proactive about these things, and then understand them a little bit deeper than just ingredients. But you have to understand the qualities of food, the biological characters of the food, which are three, right? I told you: tamas, rajas, and sattvic. These three. Tamas is the inert, very heavy, like a potatoes, a big rice ball. All those are very heavy food. That produces this energy, which is called tamas, which is like a laziness, not moving, and it really allows you a lot of resistance in the body, the fibrosis and all that, right? Whereas the rajas is something that makes you run, especially in the mind. And to some degree, it's good, but then afterwards, it becomes too much. That is happening with this information overload here. That's why I have to help them to adjust the diet also sometimes. We look at comprehensively, right? So when I start to teach these people, I tell them how to balance their food according to the biological energies that the food has, and we also have. Suppose we are a rajasic person, we are running all the time, and you give a little bit of tamasic food, and that will balance it out. So you can understand the balance. It's all from the Ayurveda, right? So be proactive, be aware of what can really Right now, we are coming to a stage where we can tell you, down the line, 10 years down the line, what kind of disease you can manifest from the genome, from the molecular biology. We can deduct a lot of conclusions about what is happening, and then we take your blood test now, and then look at what is going on with you, and then we can tell you how this is going to happen to you. With Of course, we take the past history, lots of things like that, and then we kind of tell people, be careful about this, and you don't have to be scared about it, but just be intelligent and make decisions according to the facts that you are facing with the lab, with the history, with your own perception of what is going on with you, with your energy, with your disease, and all that. There are some people that have a lot of diseases that cannot be helped right away, but then they have already established them because of the habits that they didn't know that they are not supposed to do that. Okay. So, hi Nazli, how are you? So, this is a simple question today. Are we listening to the body when we have to listen, or are we listening to it when it is not supposed to, right? And then land us into trouble. Okay. So, I'm very aware of my body. I can feel what's going on, and I can easily make out some foods are not agreeing with me, and then I will avoid. And then I work on not to be succumbing to the taste. I will enjoy, I savor the food, but I don't crave for it. There's a difference, right? And then I eat minimal, and also my principle is, unless I'm very hungry, I don't eat. It's as simple as that. And I sit down and eat as much as possible. And when I'm eating in silence. And also, I chew the food quite a bit, that's very important. And then if you eat as much as raw vegetables uh, or raw fruits as much as possible. That's good for us. So I prefer a fruit salad or regular salad and all that, without all the cream and everything. And also work up the appetite and go and sit and eat. That will be good. Okay. Yeah. So that is what I wanted to say for today. I think we already half an hour beyond. So anybody has any questions or want to come up, you can come up, and otherwise I will be closing the room in a few minutes. Okay. So this is a simple topic, but then when I saw that 106-year-old man, I was impressed by his account of this. Then I thought I would share with my friends. So I do many of the things that he was talking about. So that's a good thing that I learned from the Ayurveda and the yoga. So I want to bring it to my patients and family and everybody, which I do usually. So I'm glad I shared that with you guys. There are people here, 10 people are there. Greg, Guru Arya just talked to her, and I didn't see you for some time. Robert and Chocolate and Linda, Johnny, Andrew, and Daryl. Okay. So if anybody wants to come up, I will open up for a few minutes. Otherwise, I will close down. Okay. Oh, by the way, I am going to talk on artificial intelligence and spirituality as a solution for some problems of the artificial intelligence. That is going to be on Saturday on LinkedIn Audio. My friend Anderson Giga, I'm talking with him on the day at 10 o'clock Central on LinkedIn Audio. Okay, if you want to make it, that would be good. Okay. Thank you. I'll be seeing you again tomorrow. Okay. Bye bye, Nazli.